Eastern Conference standings predictions, and I know it's early. I'm kind of doing this on the fly because I just basically was thinking about the East, and I was like, let me talk about my potential Eastern Conference standings predictions. Yay! Still don't have full range of motion on my mouth, as you could tell. So that was a yay without a smile. Anyway, so in the East, it's obviously wide open. You know, we can see a multitude of teams in different places than they have been in previous years because obviously the Celtics don't have Jason Tatum, and then obviously the Pacers don't have Tyrese Halliburton. So the East is going to be very interesting in terms of the standings this year. So again, I literally just did this in my head like 5 minutes before I got on because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna just do it like right on the fly with you guys. So let's start with should I start from 8 to 1? Yeah, I'll do 8 to 1. So I am going to go with, and this may be controversial, I don't know, number 8 in the Eastern Conference. Actually, this won't be controversial because I changed my mind. Number 8 in the Eastern Conference, I think, will be the Miami Heat. They always find a way, we talk about this all the time. They get it done. They find a way, no matter what. And I love the addition of Norman Powell. If you watch this page, you know I'm a fan of Norman Powell. So I love the addition of Norman Powell. And they still have Bam, they still have Tyler Hero, and obviously Eric Spoelstra gets the best out of everybody. Like, he just does. So I think Miami will be 8. My potential surprise 8 seed would be the Toronto Raptors. I was going to put Toronto at 8, and then I'm like, wait, Miami. I forgot about Miami. So potentially Toronto is the 8th seed. I understand that they have not had, a lot of success since, Pascal Siakam and Kawhi and OG and stuff like that have, been gone. But I like Scotty Barnes. They have so much talent over there. They just gave Jakob Poeltl, that really big contract. So they really believe in him. And Brandon Ingram, sorry, like I told you guys, my jaw, I have to slow down when I talk and take my time. It's very frustrating, but I'm trying to take my time. So obviously Brandon Ingram is there, and he should be healthy next season. And RJ Barrett's there, and Emmanuel Quickly, and they re-signed. Did they re-sign? No, he's not on the team anymore. Okay, sorry. Somebody in my head not on the team anymore. Anyway, I like the pieces that they have in Toronto. I like their coach. If you know the press conference against the Lakers. Darko, just look on YouTube, Darko versus Lakers press conference. Classic, iconic, very, very, very funny. It was not funny to him, about him losing. He was very angry, but it's very iconic and funny, so to speak. Not funny in a bad way, just iconic lines, He was just being so authentic that it was just funny. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so gotta slow down my jaw. So I like the pieces that Toronto has, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up as the 8th seed. But I am going to stick with Miami for now, but Toronto or Miami. And then at 7, I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. I think, and I think I talked about this, and I said I don't think it's unrealistic for the Celtics to be a top 10 team. Like, they should be in the play-in tournament. I said at the minimum. And now that I'm just like calculating in my head, I'm saying I think they could be the 7 seed. I think that's fair. I feel like the 7 seed could be like, I don't know, 41 and 41 or like 39 and 43, like whatever. Like the East again is wide open, so like you don't have to have as good of a record, to make the top 8 seeds. So I do think that the Celtics could be the 7 seed. I don't think that's unrealistic, because you still have Jaylen Brown, you still have Derek White, and Anthony Simon should, give them a scoring punch. So I'm going to go with them at 7. And then the 6th seed, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. Is that too low for Milwaukee? I don't know. I'm still not super high on their roster. I feel like they still have work to do and stuff like that. Obviously I like the pickup of Miles Turner. I like the pickup of Cole Anthony and stuff like that. And Giannis is Giannis. But at the same time, I'm not sure that the Bucks are going to be a top team in the Eastern Conference. And I don't think that's a groundbreaking opinion, but I think that might end up as the 6th seed. Giannis is just so great that they're definitely going to make the playoffs, in my opinion. So then we go to number 5. And I'm having a tough time. I think I'm going to go number 5. The Pistons. And I've been very high on the Pistons. I really like Cade Cunningham. Jaden Ivey's going to be back. Asar Thompson's going to be a year better. Jalen Duren's going to be, everyone's going to be better, more cohesive, all that kind of stuff. They just brought in Karis LeVert, who I'm a big fan of. I think he'll be a great addition to the team. 5 feels right and wrong at the same time. I kind of want to put them higher, but at the same time, I don't know if I can, because my opinion right now, we'll put the Pistons at 5. I'll let you know if I change my mind. But Pistons are going to be good. They're just getting better. Number 4, I think, is going to be the Atlanta Hawks. They may be, I guess, the surprise team of the Eastern Conference, if you want to say. Obviously, they still have Trae Young. They picked up Porzingis. Porzingis is presumably healthy, so that's a huge addition to the team. Onyeka Okongwu is going to be there healthy. I'm a fan of his as well. I think he'll be very good. Jalen Johnson will be back healthy. I've said this many times. I think Jalen Johnson could have been an all-star last year. Obviously, he got hurt. That took him out of the running. I don't think he ended up even getting voted anyway. But I felt like Jalen Johnson played like an all-star last year. So there's no reason for me to believe that he won't play even better next year. And obviously, they go as Trae Young goes, but at the same time, they also kind of go as Jalen Johnson goes in a way now, just because of how important he has been to them the last couple of years. So, if Jalen Johnson can be that, also, gotta slow down, my jaw is so annoying. All right. If Jalen Johnson could be an all-star caliber player, and Trae Young will definitely be an all-star caliber player, and they picked up Nickeil Alexander-Walker, great pickup, and like I said, they picked up Porzingis, and then they still have Zachary Richese. Oh, with my jaw, I can't even say his name. I'm so sorry. I just can't get the letters out. You know who I'm talking about, though. So he was a top pick. So, he's expected to progress as well next year. And like I said, Onyeka Okongwu, I feel like they have a nice, well-rounded team, and I like Quinn Snyder as a coach. So I think the Hawks are going to be a sneaky team, and they're going to end up at the 4 seed. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pistons jumped them. That's why I was like, Pistons at 5 feels right and wrong, but I'm going to go with the Hawks. And then at 3, I'm going to the Orlando Magic. I wish I could sing their theme song right now, but my jaw will not let me. So, Orlando Magic. Um, I do think the Orlando Magic are going to be very good. Paolo, Franz Wagner, you know, there's not much to say there. We know how good they are. I love the addition of Desmond Bane. He gives them the shooting and the scoring punch they needed. They were really good on defense, but on offense they struggled to put points on the board and also three-point shooting. And KCP was supposed to be that, but he didn't, fit well and didn't have a great year with them. Desmond Bane will be awesome for them, I think. So I think that's really all they needed to take the next step. 3 seed for the Orlando Magic. Watch out for them. They're going to be dangerous. Number 2, I'm going with the New York Knicks. I think the New York Knicks are the best team in the Eastern Conference currently, or they could be. Like, I had this debate on live once recently about Cavs or Knicks, and I said there's no wrong answer. Like, I think the Cavs have maybe more depth in terms of, like, the talent off the bench, but the Knicks definitely picked up depth as well, but, like, DeAndre Hunter is like a starting caliber player off the bench, right? But you could say the same thing about Jordan Clarkson. I would say more so DeAndre Hunter at this point in their careers. But the Cavs have a lot of nice players. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Cavs were the best team in the Eastern Conference. But I am going to say that the Knicks will be the best team, but not by record. I think in the end, in the playoffs, the Knicks will be the more successful team in the playoffs. I do think that the Knicks will have the second best record in the East. I think it goes without saying, all the talents, everything that they have there. And I think they're just going to have a good regular season. I think the Cavs are going to be the number 1 seed. And I think they are motivated and hungry, after coming off last season, losing in the second round. They obviously did not want that to happen. So I think they are going to kind of go for it in the regular season, not to the extent of injury, but just try to get that number 1 seed and get home court advantage again. So I think record-wise, the Cavs will have the best record in the Eastern Conference. Somebody said, wow, thought you'd say New York Knicks number 1. Like I said, I think the Knicks will have the more successful playoff run. Like, if I was picking a team to come out of the East right now, I'm picking the New York Knicks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Cavs, but I would pick the Knicks to win the East currently. But I think with also the new culture that they're implementing, and there was so much talk around them playing too many minutes and stuff like that, I don't think they're going to be, trying to get that number 1 seed as the end-all be-all. I think rest and recovery is going to be a very important theme for them this year. And so that's part of also why I think, they may not get the number 1 seed. Somebody said I'd put the Cavs over the Knicks just because the Knicks have a lot of injury-prone players. Well, I don't know if the Knicks have a lot of injury-prone players. I mean, OG, you could kind of put him in that category. But I just think the Cavs will end up having the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. So thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for being patient with me with my jaw. Like I keep telling you guys, every day gets a little better. I'm trying. But thank you for being patient with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream and see you soon. Bye.